Hello friends, looking at current affairs for 18th May, the news items picked up from the Hindu newspaper are these 14. We'll look at them in detail. The first one, Cabinet gives nod for 10 indigenous nuclear reactors. So now the Cabinet has given an approval that 10 nuclear reactors will be established indigenously. These will be pressurized heavy water reactors of 700 megawatts capacity each, means 7,000 megawatts capacity total would be installed. So we are seeing that presently are deals with various international multinational companies for nuclear reactors like US company Westinghouse. This has now a major shareholder is Toshiba. So Toshiba Westinghouse, we have seen here the problem which has erupted. The deal was for 6 reactors which would be established in Andhra Pradesh. So here the major issue which has erupted now is that Westinghouse has filed for bankruptcy. So that is why the deal is hanging. Even the deal with French company Areva, which was planning for reactors in Jetapur in Maharashtra, here too there are negotiations going on over costing now. So since these deals are stalled, government has now decided that we would have indigenous nuclear reactors established. So this is also showing the faith and confidence which we have in the capability of the scientific community in India, that we can build our own nuclear reactors, pressurized heavy water reactors. So this is the significance. Of course, it would result in around 70,000 crore worth of business for domestic cow manufacturers, and also a huge amount of jobs would be generated. One thing is that there's no specific timeline which has been put forth about how these reactors would be established and when they would be completed. So this is there. So India's nuclear energy generation is increasing. We are generating already 37,674 million units of nuclear energy as such. In 2016-17, this was a nuclear generation with a capacity factor of 80%. Means nuclear reactors working at this capacity. So this is shown here. So the reactors, where would they be established, are shown here. Rajasthan, MP, Karnataka, Haryana. So in these regions, it would be established. And this is the pressurized heavy water reactor shown. So how nuclear reactor functions too. So it's basically an electricity is generated by rotating turbines. So here also turbines are rotated. And you see this is the generator and electricity is generated connected to the grid. So this rotating turbines takes place through steam. And how is steam formed? Using nuclear energy. So this you can see are the control rods which are required, because nuclear reactions there's a need to control the rate of nuclear reaction too. So these are the control rods which are put into, so that excess neutrons do not undertake reaction, and then nuclear reaction would go out of control. So a controlled fission reaction is one which would result in nuclear energy generated. So here this is the case, you can see. So this is the pressurizer here. So that's what it is called, pressurized heavy water reactor. So this is shown here. So condenser is also required. So this is the map. Then next is Cabinet gives nod for Shakti coal allocation scheme. So this is there in the same news item. So this Shakti scheme has also been given Cabinet approval. So this is a coal linking policy. Shakti is the acronym. So it stands for Scheme for Harnessing and Allocating Koila. So K for Koila transparently in India. So this is that when fuel supply agreements will be awarded to various coal plants who are having letter of assurances. So there are 3 terminologies which are coming here. One is FSAs, fuel supply agreements, letter of assurance, and power purchase agreements. You can see here. So what it means is, power purchase agreements means power plants with whom power purchase agreements have already been finalized. Means they will be selling the power. But then fuel supply has also to be assured. So if letter of assurance has been given to them, so those already holding letter of assurance, they'll be given these fuel supply agreements. They have been assured that they would be provided fuel supply. So that is how it would be gone ahead with. So those who have power purchase agreement but not fuel supply agreement, means output will be taken from them, but input fuels which they require, that fuel supply agreement is not in place, then they will have to bid that how much discount will they give on the electricity supply. So when electricity is generated in this power purchase, they would have to bid for a discount. So those who give the best discount, the fuel supply agreements would be done with them, and this discount will go to distribution companies, the DISCOMs. So these are also facing troubles. We know Uday scheme is also there for distribution companies, DISCOMs in the power sector. So this discount will facilitate them, will benefit them. So this is there. And another statement which is mentioned is that supply of coal to independent power producers without power purchase agreement too. So those who have, it's fine. Those who don't have power purchase agreements too, they have to be provided this on the basis of auction. So auctioning would be done to provide power purchase agreements. So this is there. It is stated that India is the 3rd largest country with maximum having third largest reserves of coal, but still we see that we are importing a huge amount of coal. So this is so, the minister is saying, the power minister, this is so because our technology which is being used in our plants, these plants work only on foreign coal. So that quality of coal is required. That is why we are not being able to use our own coal reserves. So this will now be changed, is what has been stated. So this is given about the Shakti scheme too, what we just discussed. Then next is NTRO now under Intelligence Act. So NTRO is National Technical Research Organization. This was established in 2004 after the Kargil war. So this is the Technical Intelligence Unit. So this NTRO, it works under the PMO. So it's you can see it is under the National Security Advisor as such, and with the PMO. So it was demanding since a decade that it should be put and listed under this act, the Intelligence Organization Restriction of Rights Act of 1985. So what this act does is that employees of the organizations which are listed under this act, they cannot form unions, associations. There are restrictions on their freedom of speech, their communication with the press. They cannot publish book documents as such too without the permission of the head of the intelligence organization. So this listing was demanded, and now government has approved it, and NTRO has been listed under this act along with IB and RAW. Actually, IB and RAW were against any more organizations being listed under it, but this NTRO was demanding that this should be done. Other organizations also want, other intelligence agencies like NIA, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, Narcotics Control Bureau, etc. are also demanding that they should be included under this act. But that has not been done yet. So INTRO is saying that we are hiring many people from private sector also. So this act would facilitate a safety net, and restrictions would be put on such people also. So that is important. Then this shows you the NTRO details too. It also has, NTRO also has this National Institute of Cryptology Research and Development. So this is the first of its kind institute in Asia also. So technical intelligence is what this works on. The next is all options for Air India revival open. So Air India is a loss-making entity presently. Even the economic survey this year has also discussed in detail about the private of this public sector enterprise, that how privatization is also becoming difficult because of the case issues involved here with respect to Air India, how losses has been incurred by them. So now the Niti Aayog is planning how and will provide recommendations about what should be done further on Air India issue. So whether this investment should take place, so all options are open. So this we'll see the results coming forth now. So once Niti Aayog gives recommendations, then we'll see what is put into effect. So this article is talking about all possible options, including this investment, will be used to revive Air India. So the losses incurred are huge, you can see. And also another thing stated is that huge amount of capital has also been infused by the government in Air India. So turnaround plans have been finalized. A new turnaround plan had also come up. So around, you can see 24,745 crore was already put into Air India by the center, as you know, in the turnaround plan. And later, even now, 30,000 to 31 crore has to be provided to Air India up to 2021, according to this turnaround plan. But then present government is not very keen on infusing this huge amount of equity capital in a loss-making entity. So what other options can be opened up is what we'll be seeing after the recommendations of Niti Aayog comes forth. So here you can see, so Air India was basically a private sector entity originally. It was established by Tata Sons in 1932. In 1953, post-independence, government acquired it and named it Air India. So this is the case. So it has been a loss-making entity, you can see. First time in 2015, operating profit was also registered as such, but losses have incurred, and losses are gradually declining, but there are losses. Also its subsidiaries, some of its subsidiaries are doing well. So two of them mentioned here, you can see AIA TSL. So this is Air India Express and Air India Air Transport Services Limited. So these two entities, subsidiaries, are also reporting profits. So this is shown. So this is the huge debt retirement plan, that how debt which Air India is in presently can be cleared up. So it says, this article also, this image also says that 20,000 crore of Air India's loans are sustainable. So it can take care of it, service it through its cash flows as such too. But then conversion of loans into equity also will help. It may reduce the carrier's annual interest payments. So Air India has to have interest payments done on the debt too, which are also huge. So around 4,000 crore of interest is paid every year by Air India because of the debt which it has taken. So this is shown. So we'll see when the recommendations of Niti Aayog come forth, then we'll see what steps will the government plan to take for Air India's revival. Next is BSF begins Operation Garam Hawa. So this is an operation started by Border Security Force in Rajasthan. So you should know that Rajasthan also shares a boundary with Pakistan. So Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir have this boundary with Pakistan. So here in Rajasthan, this operation has been started because during heat waves, intense heat wave conditions, chances of infiltration also increase. So now the vigil along the international border has been stepped up. So this is Operation Garam Hawa. Then next is Visakhapatnam built the cleanest rail station. So Visakhapatnam railway station has been declared the cleanest railway station amongst the A1 top 75 major stations in the country. So in A category too, so this A category is shown as those earning at least 6 crore to 50 crores in annual passenger revenue. So even in this A category, the cleanest railway station is Bias in Punjab. So this survey has been done, cleanliness survey carried out by Quality Control of India. So this was released by the Railway Minister. So the details you can see are shown here, state-wise too, how many stations and what is the ranking as such of various stations. So all 7 stations in Telangana come into 1 to 81 rank bracket. So that is how it is shown here. So here you can see among the 75 stations in A1 category, Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh is at the top, and in A category, Bias in Punjab was at the top, cleanest station. So ranking is based on 3 parameters: self-evaluation, third-party observation, and passenger feedback. Then next is Palestine. It's Israel's turn. After Palestine, it's Israel's turn. So this is regarding, we know, President of Palestine, Mahmoud Abbas, visited India. We discussed that yesterday. And now we know that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to visit Israel in July 2017. So the preparation has started now. Officials have already gone ahead and they are going to visit Israel to make preparations. So there is terminologies too here with respect to Israel. So here this is the term Aliyah. So this is the term which means migration of Jewish diaspora to Israel. So we see that Israeli population, the Jewish population went back to their homeland in Israel, the place of birth of the religion too. So here they have returned now. So that migration is called Aliyah. So even many Indian Jewish communities have also gone and settled down in Israel. So there is a large number of migrated population from India to up there who will also be addressed by the Prime Minister, that is expected. So the Israeli groups here from India are Bene Israelis from Maharashtra, Cochin Jews from Cochin, Kerala, Baghdadi Jews which are in Kolkata. So they have all migrated to Israel, many from this community. And also another one is Banai Minache from Manipur. So they are called the lost tribe. So all these are Jewish population in India who have migrated to, many of them have migrated to Israel. So this you should know about. Also another statement which has already been made and we've spoken about earlier too, that Prime Minister is going to visit only Israel and not the Palestinian region, as has been done earlier by President Pranab Mukherjee and Sushma Swaraj, but this Palestinian visit will not take place by the PM. The next is Navy saves ship from pirates. So this is the Indian warship INS Sharda, which has been stationed here. It has been deployed in Gulf of Aden region for anti-piracy operations. So here, when it got a distress call from this merchant vessel, MV Lord Mountbatten, it got into action and piracy was foiled as such, piracy attempts. So here you should know this is India, Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea, and this is Gulf of Aden. So here Somalia, here in this region, piracy is prominent. So in Gulf of Aden, we have even INS Sharda stationed here, Sharda. And this is the other Gulf. This is Gulf of Oman. This is the Persian Gulf, Gulf of Aqaba located here. This is Mediterranean Sea, Europe, and the Red Sea here between Middle East, Asia, and Africa. Then next news item is India's road to seamless commutes waits for rules. So India is planning to modernize its public transport. So what can be done is various forms of public transport can also be brought in together. So seamless commutation can also be facilitated. It means a passenger can take one ticket, and on that single ticket he can have his journey from one place to another using multiple transport routes too, like railways, roadways, a bus can be taken. So this seamless commutation can be possible if rules are also put in place about how revenue would be shared. So that revenue sharing model will be brought in. So many cities and regions in India are undertaking this. Bengaluru is said to be undertaking this. Even it is planning to have real-time data on the movement of city buses as such too. The way Ola and Uber, they have real-time data about how much time would the vehicle take to arrive. So same way these details can also be provided. The way it has been done in international cities like London, so Bengaluru is also planning this. So exact location and arrival time can be provided on real-time basis. So this can be done. Plus also in Delhi also the public transportation can be modernized, means railways. Delhi Transport Corporation have the urban metro, Delhi Metro, all these can be connected, linked together to give an ease and easy transport and travel experience to the passengers. So this is regarding that. Next is Anti-Profit Shifting Pact gets nod. So this is regarding multilateral convention to implement tax treaty related measures to prevent base erosion and profit sharing. So this term has been in news quite often. Last year too it has been doing the rounds. Base erosion and profit shifting. So what does this mean? We'll see that too. So there is this multilateral convention which has come forth. So Indian cabinet has also decided that it will be signing this multilateral international agreement. So what happens is with multinationals, they try to avoid taxes. They avoid taxes, so they take advantage of even the tax treaties which various countries have with each other. So they have this base erosion done. So base erosion done means the base in which they are actually working, they show a base somewhere else, and this results in taxes being averted. So base erosion and profit shifting, this has to be tackled. So this is the treaty on that. So this was OECD and G20 project, BPS project, base erosion and profit shifting project, to tackle this issue. So that these are tax planning strategies which multinational companies come forth with. So they try to exploit the mismatches in tax rules. So where those nations where the taxation laws are lax and taxation is very low, they try to show their profits there, and then they can avoid taxes. So this results in companies which in countries where they should have actually paid taxes, they are receiving nothing. So this has become a huge issue now. You can see here various multinationals too, like Starbucks. It is domiciled in UK. UK turnover is 398 million pounds, but in UK corporation tax paid is 0. Why? Because it shows its base separate. Base is erosion and profit sharing. So it's having these, even they will have these subsidiaries formed and they would provide loans to them, and do such steps are taken in such a way. So this is planned as such, in such a way they do not have to pay any taxes. So to tackle this convention has also been brought forth on base erosion and profit sharing. And this is the example of Amazon also. So it's domiciled in Luxembourg. UK turnover is 3.3 billion, but corporation tax 0. So this is the year 2010-11 data. So here there are the steps given to about how to address this also, base erosion and profit sharing. So what is required is increased transparency in respect of tax rates of multinational enterprises. That what tax rates have to be paid by them. Greater focus on international mismatch in entity and instrument characterization. Transfer pricing is another avenue which is used by these base erosion and profit sharing multinational companies. So the transfer pricing is done means this is a price at which they have their own commodity sold to another entity. Means I am providing some entity to a subsidiary which is based in another country. So I will sell it. At what price it is sold is the question. I may show it at a very exorbitant price so that my money is transferred there, or I may show it at a very low. So such manipulations can be done. So that is called transfer pricing, is another terminology which comes in that case. Improving tax compliance means the price at which you are selling to a subsidiary. And tax treatment of related party debt financing. So if related parties are there, so how debt financing is done by them. So tax treatment on this aspect also has to be looked into. So this anti-avoidance measures, that companies do not avoid taxes. So tax evasion is a crime, but tax avoidance is not a crime. So that is what is going on here. So this tax treaties which are there between countries, they are abused. Treaty tax abuse. So this has to be prevented. So these steps are being taken by countries coming together. Next is, rain may have shaped Mars surface. So planet Mars has these craters, river-like channels on its surface. So how have these been formed? It is, scientists are saying that this is because of heavy rainfall which took place on the Mars because of the Martian atmosphere then, and this has resulted in the planet's surface being very much similar to Earth too. So this is the same reason that rainfall did take place. So craters, valleys have been formed just like they are there on Earth and Moon also. So this, there is no evidence of water as such presently, but water once existed on Mars is no. So there's no rain as such today. Then next is, 3D printed 4-legged robo can walk on sand. So this is regarding a 3D printed robo which has been developed. So it has 4 legs. It can walk on rough surfaces, sand, pebbles also. So it has been 3D printed. So it is made of soft and rigid material both within the same component. So here it gets the rigid body also and flexibility so that it can move with ease also. So the way body also has hard bones and soft tissue, same way such a robo has also been built and through 3D printing. So then the next news item is, tech could run foldable speakers. So this is a technology which can result in foldable loudspeakers also one day, even talking newspapers. That's what scientists are saying. So this is a paper thin flexible device. It's ultra thin and scalable and bidirectional. Bidirectional means it can convert mechanical energy into electrical energy and electrical energy into mechanical energy. So last year this was in news. This is called FENG, ferroelectric nano generator. So what this device does is that it had been demonstrated that this, through mechanical energy, electrical energy can be converted and keyboards can be made functional. Even LED lights can be provided. For LCD touch screens are possible through this FENG. So now they have shown that this electrical energy can be converted into mechanical too. So there can be foldable loudspeakers too and later. So such developments are possible is what this technology is speaking of. Ferroelectric nano generator. So this, it is demonstrating how keystroke can run the computer. Your mechanical pressure here is converted into a signal and goes to the computer. Next is the last news item. Babies from skin cells. Advanced unsettles exports. So we have heard about in vitro fertilization. So this means that the sperm and the egg is fertilized in vitro. In vitro means in glass. So this means test tube baby. So in a glass test tube, you have this fertilization taking place. So that is called IVF. So then the embryo form that can be placed in the womb of the mother and the birth can take place. So now this has been a technique in place since 40 years. So after this technology, which had been controversial, now another far more controversial technology is coming forth, and this is called in vitro gametogenesis. So this has already been used on mice as such, but then in a decade or two, means in around 10-20 years, it can be possibly used on humans also and it can create babies. So what this gametogenesis does is that uses the cells. So skin cells as such can also be coaxed to grow into egg cells and sperm cells. So then egg cells and sperm cells are ready, then you can create an embryo out of it and then it can be planted in the womb. So with this in vitro gametogenesis, means through stem cells, this is becoming possible. So what can be done is the same person, from a single parent, you can have the baby. You can have the skin cell taken and that can be converted into both egg and embryo, and the egg and sperm, and the baby can be born. So single parent baby is also possible. It would be just like a clone. And another is also that you can have the two males also giving birth to a child, can be parents to a child. So such possibilities are there. Also some scientists are speaking of Brad Pitt scenario. So the way we say designer babies too. But this is like without the knowledge also. Like if some skin cells from the hotel bed or bathtub are taken of some celebrity, that can also be used to make a baby. So those will be, that is called Brad Pitt scenario by scientists. So such multiplex parents can also be contributing to a child. So such possibilities would come forth. So that's what scientists are warning about, that embryo farming can also take place now. So currently it is unimagined, but this may become possible, devaluing even human lives, that humans can easily be formed. So here you can see so how fertilization can take place through stem cells. You can have artificial gamete production done, means artificial, throughout this artificial means sperm cells and egg cells can be formed, and then you can have self-fertilization yourself, or you can have heterosexual fertilization, or even same-sex fertilization. All possibilities would be there in vitro gametogenesis. So that is this. So these are the news items. Thank you.